Yep. Welcome to the second edition of Slingin Dirt, guys. We're making progress. Not only have we made it 2 straight weeks, but we also named it.
Yeah, slinging dirt. I mean, we're slinging something around here, that's for sure.
We are joined in studio, and we appreciate it. Joe Kaziski, thanks for sticking around and talking with us on Slingin Dirt.
Hey, I was just thinking that slinging dirt part. I don't know what Bud slings, but it might look brown like dirt.
It does, and he does a lot of it.
And it smells at times.
Yeah.
But this is our weekly chat where we sit around and talk point standings at different tracks in southwest Iowa and southeast Nebraska, and we give a little insight on some of the drivers and how the standings are going. So we talk a little bit of subjects that are pertaining. I know one conversation we're going to have tonight is Jesse Sobbing. I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to talk about the conditions at some of the tracks and just kind of just have a little conversation to keep people up to date with what's going on in the local dirt track series.
Well, let's get to slinging the beep.
Yes, let's do it. What track should we start with?
Well, Andrew's looking pretty over here, sitting behind a mic. Let's let him start.
I got Adams County Speedway, located in Corning, Iowa.
We're going to do let's do top 10 in results and top 10 in points.
Sure, we can do that. Last week, they had the MLRA series come to town that way, and that is the touring super late models. This is kind of the class underneath what's coming to the silver dollar. But
No. They're the same class. Them guys are the same class. Terry Phillips will go race. He made the dream. He was up there running in the top 10. Don't never cut these guys short. I've watched Kyle Burke go and win Lucas Oil races, and I've watched John Anderson lead the Show Me in the Diamond National. So
I've even seen Mike Collins win a race in the late model.
Oh, Andrew, you've done it now.
You see? Jeez, you see?
You got Father K and Buddy B pissed off now.
Wait till we get to Jesse Sobbing's story. Bud's really going to be upset.
There's going to be a little fight. You don't talk trash about a boy's boyfriend.
There you go.
Oh, dear Lord.
We'll start with the Hobby A feature. You want to do the top 10, correct,
Let's
Bud?
just do the top 10
All right,
points.
that's fine.
For time's sake, can we do top 5? I mean, we've got 4 tracks to talk about. If we do top 10 for every track in every division.
There you go. Yeah, we'll do top 5.
What
top
the
5.
hell? Okay.
Top 5 results, top 5.
We're just slinging beep around here, so yeah,
you don't have to beep yourself. We're not going on the radio.
Well, I'm a professional.
And fifth
Notice
place,
how everyone laughed.
professional BSer.
Sorry, Andrew. We've interrupted you 5 times now.
Oh, it's okay. I'm just going to, hang out. Keep talking, Bud. Nope. Okay. Results.
What are we doing now?
Hobby stocks out of Adams Speedway, right?
The Hobby County, the Hobby A feature last week. Jeremy Auden picked up the win, followed behind Jeremy Purdy was second, Brandon Pruitt third, Matt McAtee fourth, and David Weeda was fifth place. Pro stock in fifth was Tony Hardesty. Fourth, Jason Rolled. Joe Zadina picked up third. Greg Miller second. And Brad Deary out of Bedford, Iowa, picked up the win in the pro stocks. The B-Mod feature in fifth was Bill Gibson. Tyler Gross got fourth. Brett Shepard third. Jared West in second. And winning the race after starting 12th was Blaine Peterson. In the A-Mod feature, in fifth, Kirby Steins. Fourth is Todd Van Eaton. John Davis got third. Jesse Dennis was second, and picking up the win was Jeff Wiggins out of Greenfield, Iowa. And for the MLRA A feature, we do not have that, I see. That was a B feature result, but picking up the win was Jesse Stovall, and he actually drove another guy's car to win the race, and he started, I think, about 12th or 10th position.
What was with his car? Was it broke down?
Yeah, well, he drives for another person, and I think they had engine problems the night before, so he drove another car and picked up the win at somebody else's, so you see that's a lot of driver there.
Yeah, okay. You want me to go with Crawford?
Yeah, I'm just sitting here looking professional.
All right, we'll go with Crawford. And our Sport Compact feature, Jordan Aderdroy from Dunlap pulls out the win. Tom Summerfield came in second. Nick Alexander came out of third. Tim Cass fourth. Davey Malone comes out fifth, and that kind of mixes up the point standings a little bit. Tom Summerfield and Tim Cass both jump up, but they're still not able to catch Deb Brosh, as she is still our points leader there at Crawford. For your hobby stock division.
You got a lady leading the points at Crawford there?
She's good.
Is she good?
Oh, yeah,
What class was that in?
Sport Compact.
Sport Compact. Boy.
First year ever.
Wow. Great job.
She's good. She pulled out a win last week, and a dominating, actually not a dominating win, but a heartfelt win. That was the anniversary of her son her and her son's birthday, and her son had passed away several years ago. So that night was her birthday, and I tell you what, she had something in that car because there was a little bit more drive than normal, and she muscled right past Alex Davis, Davey Malone, Tom Summerfield, those guys who are always up in the front. She muscled right past them.
We have a Midwest Danica Patrick thing.
We do.
Great job.
She's a great girl, too. I love watching her race. For your hobby stock feature, Justin Neering gets a little bit of redemption after having a rough couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago, he was spun on the final lap, did not appreciate the caution not coming out, and let the officials at Crawford know. He came back this week and did explain to him that he still is the best driver on the course, and he edges out the field by quite a bit. Jason Fusselman comes in second, Jason Cole comes in third, Donnie Gustav fourth, and Corey Madden comes in fifth. For the point standings for those guys, Donnie Gustav still has the lead, but Willie Ransom just right behind him, and I heard Willie had a bit of a rough night at Harlan.
Yeah, I believe a car had right in front of him had spun out or something like that, and basically Willie didn't have a place to go. But one thing I know about Willie over the years is he's a tough competitor, fierce guy, super nice guy. He'll be back, so he's all right.
That's good to see. You don't want to see him missing a couple of weeks. Just like we didn't when you were having your troubles. It was really hoping and praying that your dad was able to get that car fixed. You could come back the next week.
Yeah, thank God for Dad. He got her done.
Sport Mod Division, your winner, Keegan Scott, edges out brother Logan Scott. And Keegan definitely, we've been talking about it the last couple of weeks, and we talked about it last week. It seems like Logan is just a scotch better than Keegan. I don't know if he heard it, if Keegan heard it, but he was just a scotch better than Logan this week. Those two guys are absolutely tearing up the track and dominating at Crawford. So Keegan finally gets a win over brother Logan. Evan Nimitz comes in third. Tara Longnecker comes in fourth. Jim Lampy rounds out top five.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Go ahead.
You know them brothers you're talking about, Scotian? I remember brothers, and when one brother was Scotia better than the other, it always put that little pinch in your rear to be a little better the next week. So That's probably what happened there.
It seems that it's just every week it's just like Logan is right there. I'm sorry, Keegan is just right there, but
both
Logan's
right there.
just. Well, I'm saying that when it comes to those two racing, it just seems to be that Logan's just a hair faster. And I think Keegan got sick and tired of that.
What position is Jim Lampy in?
Did he finish or points?
Points.
Points. He's sitting seventh. He's 45 points out of the lead.
Oh, who else is there?
They're where? Around him?
Seventh in points.
I don't know. I can't read that name.
Oh.
Careful. Oh, did you...
Seventh in the points in what class?
Sport mods.
Buddy. You take that big, expensive sport mod all the way to Denison that your boss bought from you from Joe's Karting. I mean, this thing has got like the best of everything on it, you told me. And you're in seventh?
Well,
come on now.
He took it there several weeks and then took it right to the body shop the next night. So
he took care of some of them special parts that he got bought for.
Yes,
it made it even more special.
As much as I love to give him crap, he's done a great job coming back. I think when we first checked, the first time you actually had the first time you actually finished a feature race at Crawford and you didn't get wrecked, you were sitting 20th. So in 3 weeks, you've come up to 27th.
Oh,
so.
You've done a good job, buddy. Congratulations.
He's knocking them off.
Well,
He's
Joe's
doing
not
good.
normally used to seeing me actually doing something good. Like we said earlier off the air, Bud's usually spinning off track. I mean, I was on track, but I spun off the track.
Your stock car feature, Keith Knopp, brings home the victory. Donovan Smith right behind him in second. Mike Nichols comes in third. Bill Reitz in fourth. Alec Ellis comes in fifth. And Donovan still wrong sheet. Jason, stock car. Where did my stock? Yeah, Donovan Smith is your points leader still. Adam Clucky right behind him. Chris Ulrich takes a big hit in the points. He was leading last week, but he had a really bad race, finished 13th, and it's
he
tough
actually
to see
pulled
him.
in during the feature.
Didn't was he one of the guys that blew a tire?
He actually pulled in because he was coming through the front pretty good there. I was up on the crow's nest watching that, and the next thing I know, on a restart, I didn't see Ulrich out there. I was getting ready to text his wife, and I didn't see him out there, and I looked back, and I seen him over by the trailer.
Yeah, your late model division, Jason Haney, that kid, my God, nobody had anything for him all night long. Al Zeitner comes in second, Vic Lovejoy third, Kyle Siegebart fourth, and Don Beckstrom comes in fifth. Jason Haney then with that win, ties with Zal Zeitner for the point lead in Crawford County. Vic Lovejoy comes up to third, and Josh Most, because he was out racing at I-80 that week.
The trifecta, yep.
Takes a big hit in the points, but I got a feeling since Josh is not going to sit back in the out of the top 5 for very long.
No.
Then your modified, the final feature at Crawford County, Craig Reitz. That's great. My microphone's starting to cut out. Craig Reitz takes the victory. Matt Bonine takes second. Jeff Stevens takes third. Andy Gage takes fourth. Bob Moore takes fifth. And I pointed out Bonine because I feel really bad for the Bonine family, the Bonine crowd, because they not very happy with me. I've been mispronouncing it the whole time. And
Bonin?
I'm not going to say what it was because then it's going to get stuck back in my head. But it was close to Bonine. And I didn't realize I was saying it wrong. It was misprinted on my sheet, and so they're pretty mad at me, and I just want to take the time and apologize.
FYI, track promoters, directors, staff officials, when you make sure the announcers have the right town and the right spelling of the name, because that does make a big difference for these announcers.
It helps. And it also helps me not want to kick fans down the stands when they start screaming at me.
No.
And I'll admit when I'm wrong, but sometimes I'm not. But most of the time I am. Red Munson is still your leader for the modified division. Matt Bonine comes up 2 positions. Bob Moore comes up a couple of positions. Shane DeMay, who was not running. Yes, he was running, but he had some issues last week. Drops a couple of positions. So that's where they stand at Crawford County Speedway.
All right, and I'm going to have Shelby County Speedway over here in Harlan, Iowa. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go down top 5 in results, and then I'm going to go back through and do top 5 in the points. In the Sport Compact, sit in 5th place, in the results, finishing 5th out of Portsmouth, Iowa, Taylor Griffin, followed by the 24 of Jamie Malberg. Nick Alexander comes into that 3rd spot, and then David Dembowski out of Grand Island, Nebraska. That's a long pull. Coming in, starting 10th, finishing 2nd. Good pull for him, good run for him. And then Kane Malberg out of Dunlap, Iowa. I believe he's made that trip over there to Crawford County Speedway a couple of times, but he actually takes your feature win this last Saturday at Shelby County Speedway. I'm sorry. In the sport mods, here's a neat deal, and I haven't had a chance to talk to him. Randy Archer picking up his 2nd feature win over Jesse Sabine this year. Randy Archer's on a tear. He's worked real hard on that car out of Council Bluffs.
He's beat Jesse twice?
He's beat Jesse twice at Shelby County this year.
I wanted to hear that again. I can't believe that he's beat him twice.
And he actually, now, Jesse did finish 2nd both times.
Wow, good job, Randy.
To show you how close this is, Cody Hillgartner started 3rd, finishes 5th. Cody Olson, the 777, starts 8th, finishes 4th. Jared Hansen in the 23 starts 9th, finishes 3rd. Jesse Sabine, Team Crazy Crazy, starts 10th, finishes 2nd. Randy Archer starts 7th, finishes 1st. Wow. So that was some good company up there in the top 5.
You ain't kidding. Good job.
So, I mean, Randy Archer's definitely on the ball, and it's really, really neat to, and nothing against Sabine, but it's really neat to somebody new get up there and start giving Sabine a run for his money.
It's not that somebody new, it's that somebody else has got their stuff working together. And you notice I said stuff.
Yep, absolutely.
Together. I mean, it's great to see guys compete. And, I mean, what you really want, Bud, is 5 of those guys racing. Then guess what? That might make you 6 today, but it's going to make you faster than Jesse and them guys at some point.
Now, you're a retired driver, Joe. Back when you were driving, whether it be last year or 10 years ago or whatever, I'm sure you've had those runs where, you might have had 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row where you're winning the feature, but when there's somebody up there really on your back bumper and making you earn it, do you respect them even more, and does it make that do you have a lot more fun racing then?
You have so much more fun if you're close. I mean, if you're just running away with the feature, it's no fun. To pull off one on the last lap or half a lap or last corner, that's a great feeling when you get that done with somebody running with you.
Yep. All right, next on to our stock cars. And this is kind of a neat story here. Brian Bledstein, the 92B out of Breda, Iowa, is taking home 5th place. Alan Schmidt out of Holstein, Iowa, finishing 4th. Keith Knopp in the 10X started 9th, coming home 3rd place. Bill Osbar, a long-time standing stock car driver, great driver, starting 8th, finishing 2nd. And Mike Nichols starting 5th, taking home the feature win in that 63 car. And I believe somebody had just told me, I think he's like 450 feature wins in IMCA, that's beyond biblical.
Wow.
Sabin's not even there yet.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I did say it, but Sabin, for the time being in IMCA,
He'll be there in like 3 years.
He'll be there in a couple of years.
I think we need to get to TMZ and just make sure that somebody hasn't broken, that Bud and Jesse have broken up. I'm just saying.
Shut up. Late model feature. Fifth place out of Carroll, Iowa, Don Beckstrom is finishing fourth. Vic Lovejoy, third, Chad Cooney, second, Jay Stewart, and starting 10th, finishing first, Todd Cooney out of Des Moines, Iowa. Todd Cooney, from what I understand, was just in a class of his own, almost like Justin Zeitner back in that NASCAR late model race back at I-80 earlier this year.
Yeah.
Just totally in a class of his own. Now for the points, I'll make this real quick. Top 5, Tom Summerfield in 5th, David Skarenko out of Harlan, Iowa.
How could you mispronounce a name?
Oh my gosh,
jackass!
Shut up.
I finally get to get someone
Dave,
else crap.
if I pronounce that name really wrong, sorry, but
if you pronounced it wrong, it was a track official's fault.
Sitting third in points, Kane Malberg. Sitting second in Sport Compacts, Bronson Griffin, 23 points behind your current leader, Jamie Malberg, in that 24 car out of Early, Iowa. In the hobby stocks, top 5, Jamie Songer out of Winterset, Iowa, followed by fourth, Jason Cole, good kid, number 27 out of Mo Valley. Third place in the 55, Jason Fusselman out of Shelby, Iowa. Second place, Dusty Van Horn, 33 VH, won a couple features. And the current IMCA leading feature winner all time, Shannon Anderson, the number 78 out of Atlantic, Iowa. That's actually not too surprising. I mean, they've got some good drivers over there at Shelby County. Top 5 in points is not real surprising to me. In the Sport Mods, top 5. Actually, now this guy, Joe, pretty good, and he must be struggling a little bit or something, but 6th place, I will do top 6, Dennis Cook out of Mo Valley. He's usually right up there. 5th place, Dylan Peterson out of Jacksonville, Iowa. Randy Archer with those 2 wins. He's sitting 4th in points. Cody Olson, 777, sitting 3rd in points. Jared Hansen in the number 23, 26 points behind your current points leader out of Glenwood, Iowa, Jesse Sabin. In the stock cars, top 5 in points, Chris Rett out of Council Bluffs, Iowa. 4th is Keep Knopp out of Shelby, Iowa. Number 3, Alan Schmidt out of 27X out of Holstein, Iowa. Number 2, Jeff Anderson, 2 points behind your current points leader, Flying Brian Blessington out of Breda, Iowa. Brian's making a good run this year. In your late models, top 5 out of Bellevue, Nebraska, the 76 of Al Zeitner. Sitting 4th is Barry Sorensen. 3rd in points, Chad Cooney. 2nd in points, Jay Stewart out of Blair, Nebraska, and 7 points out of the lead. He's sitting 7 points out of the lead. Your current points leader in the late models from Shelby County, Todd Cooney. In 5th place.
Todd Cooney's not from Shelby, Iowa. He's from Des Moines.
Des Moines.
Okay.
I
was going to say, I've been around for a long time, and he was always from Des Moines, unless he just moved there.
It's not that I mispronounced or misquoted that. I just want to see if...
you're testing Joe.
I'm testing Joe. Yeah.
I wonder if anybody was listening to you, right?
Yeah, really. I mean, I think just last week I mentioned Mark Martin was driving for Jack.
Oh, my God. Which was like, 5 years ago?
Probably at least. I think he was at Hendricks, and then he stopped over maybe and run some BGN for Gibbs on his way to the Toyota car.
Yep.
Hey, I was half asleep at that time. So.
We all were, but yeah.
All right, in the modifieds, 5th place out of Arion, Iowa, Jeff Stevens. 4th place, Brandon Munson out of Harlan, Iowa. Tied for 2nd, racer Ricky Steffen. Who'd have thought that? Racer Ricky Steffen and Wahoo Mike Albertson tied for 2nd, 11 points out of the lead. And your current points leader, I think he's had 1 or 2 wins out of Shelby County this year. The 15M of Shane DeMay out of Denison, Iowa. So there's your complete results in point standings. And then, did we have another track you want me to do, Stuart?
You know, Bud, let me tell you something about this top 5 you guys are reading. The guy that's listening to this going, I'm in 6th. Guess what he's doing? He's trying to get that pinch I was telling you about them 2 brothers a little bit ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
He wants to get to the top 5 so his name gets read next week. So there's nothing bad with you guys reading the top 5.
Yeah.
All right.
And, as far as I'm concerned, a lot of the dirt tracks I've been to a lot lately, there is a lot of drivers that kind of poke their names up there. But there seems to be this season there's I want to rephrase that. There's a lot of drivers that are consistently up in the top, but there seems to be a couple more drivers to me that are peaking up in there this season. It seems to be a little bit more parity in the area.
For me, Joe, you're talking about top 5. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. Would you, and I take no disrespect to this, but would you have ever thought of me as a top 10 sport mod driver? I sure
years
would.
back, no, but that was kind of when you were starting, bud. See, that's not fair. Now you've got equipment, and you've learned how to scale a race car, and you learned how to maintain it, and you've taught your dad what to do to maintain it. And when all that comes about, you start being better.
So now I'm top 10. And Dad and I, a lot of drivers disagree with me. Well, you need to go to the track with one thing in mind, and that's to win. And I totally agree with that way of thinking, but at the same time, the way Dad and I look at it, if we set the bar too high and we don't ever reach that bar, because, it doesn't matter if you're a super late model or sport mod or sport compact, your chances of winning on average are 1 in 20 on any given race night if there's 20 cars in the feature. So I tell Dad, if we do top 10, I'm pretty happy. Anything above that just gives me that much more of a confidence boost, and it propels us even farther. Does that make sense to you?
Well, it makes sense. I'm just glad I didn't have to hit that 1 in 20 in my racing career, because I'd had to have almost 10,000 races in over my career, and I didn't get that many in. But
I'm not Joe Koziski, though.
But you still have to look at it as I've got to get there. And you've got to keep pushing that you've got to get there. So what you're saying is right. You want to look at top 5 today, then it's top 2 or 3 at the worst. And then I got to win. I got to figure out I have to win, and what do I got to do to get there?
What I'm seeing out of you, and I'm going to compare this a lot to Kurt Busch this year, is that Kurt Busch, none of us disagree that Kurt Busch is probably one of the most talented drivers on the track, but he doesn't have good equipment. He's had engine failures. He's had tires blown. He's had
crashes,
sway bars break. He's had shocks. He's had everything under the sun. And I think a big part of the reason why you're doing good this season is you finally got good equipment.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to help you to elevate as to where Kurt Busch is sitting in lackluster equipment.
I'm going to tell you right now, though, the reason why I've had some success this year, actually more success this year than I've ever had, it's not me. By no means is it me. Yes, I've got good equipment, but I'm a big supporter of this. I don't care if you've got a brand new 2012 Laser GRT, Skyrocket, whatever chassis in whatever class. I've got one of the most dedicated crews around there. I don't have to treat them like a bunch of monkeys walking around. They know what to do, when to do it. They give me feedback. They don't argue with each other. And I honestly think that when you have a really good set crew behind you, it is every bit as important as a brand new motor or that brand new chassis or that $1,000 shock.
More important than a brand new motor and brand new chassis.
I remember at Eagle Raceway this year, I went to a C feature, won the C feature, started dead last in the B, got to 4th, got in the A, started like 19th or 20th in the A feature, got up to 6th before my own fault. I smacked the wall just barely and bit my rear end, but it wasn't me getting to that A feature. That was my crew, because in the B feature, we had actually gotten involved in a wreck and the whole right side of the body came off. So I came into the pits, they pulled the body off, changed a couple tires. I went back out on the track and I told them that wasn't me getting us in the A feature. That was all you guys, and I'm telling you right now, any driver out there, you need a good crew behind you, because like Joe said, it's more important than anything or any amount of money that you could put in your program. I can't give enough props to my crew.
I've seen some of the guys, when you get a good crew chief with you, you can win because the crew chief has got your mind taken care of. Mm-hmm. I had a crew chief, and not that I've been real blessed, because I had a lot of guys that helped me a lot and were great crew members. At one time I had a crew chief that was really good with me, and I think he knew when I needed to go to the bathroom. I think he was that good. He could read what was going on in my whole time, and that's an important thing.
This is something I want to bring up is when we first had our conversation the first time you were in the studio on the show this year, you talked about how you weren't retired, you were on a bit of a hiatus.
Yep.
Still on hiatus?
Oh, yeah.
Am I going to get a chance to see you race sometime?
I don't know.
I better.
I don't know.
Sport mod.
I need you to get back into that car so I can see you race a couple of times.
I don't know. We'll see.
I hear this man, myth, the legend.
We'll see
so many times.
We'll see when the year gets over and see how things are hammering out. And, I'm really having a good time running the SLMR series, and I'm really having a good time doing some of the things I'm doing right now. And, I've now my pit guy and a couple of my pit members that I've had in the past, they're kind of enjoying themselves staying at home, and doing the things. And all of a sudden I'm like, well, if I did want to do it again, I'd have to almost beg them to say it's time to go do it again.
You're wearing a few more hats this year than you've worn in the past.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I understand you got a little bit more on your plate, but I want to see the 52 on the track one more time.
53.
53.
Oh, 53. See, I don't even know what car number you race.
Yeah.
Oh, dear Lord.
I've never seen him run.
What number is Jimmy Johnson?
Okay, there's a difference between Jimmy.
I don't care. Jimmy who? Jimmy what? Jimmy who? This is Joe Koziski.
I want to explain to you the difference between
NASCAR
Jimmy
Hall
Johnson.
of Famer, dirt late model driver.
Okay, I want to explain to you the difference between Jimmy Johnson and Joe Koziski.
Joe Koziski
I've seen
beat
Jimmy
him.
Johnson race. I've been next to his car. I have not seen Joe Koziski next to a car.
Are you living under a rock?
Yes!
Evidently, Council Tucky's full of them.
I was living under a rock for many years, and now Bud's made me come down to this dirt track, and you got me infected with this damn racing.
Let me tell you, you're going to have more fun being down here in the dirt than you ever had being up there on the asphalt. And I'll tell you, for years and years and years, a lot of people always have told you, and you've probably heard it a number of times, asphalt's for getting there and dirt's for racing, and realistically, that's what it is.
Yeah. Go ahead and say it. Well, we can edit it out.
Oh, no.
What are you guys talking about?
We going to do Stewart?
You want to do Stewart? You want to do it next week? Or
Can we do it next week?
Yeah, we can do it next week.
Yeah, we can do Stewart. We'll show Stewart some love next week.
Okay. Do you want to wrap up the show, or do you want to talk Jesse Sobbing?
Let's do the Jesse Sobbing thing, because I have a promoter here.
Yeah, I want to talk to him about it, too. So there was an incident that happened Friday night at Crawford County Speedway, and I want to say it from my perspective, and I didn't see a lot of it because I was busy getting ready for the next race.
Get
but
your butt chewed out.
It was, by the fans. It was heat race number 2, the same race that you were in.
Yep.
There was a 3-car pileup, and I'm telling you, pileup. One of the cars flipped, did a complete flip, and then the front tires landed on the top of another
I almost drove
car.
under that.
You missed it, and I was really proud about how you actually missed a wreck for the first time.
Yeah.
You're generally like a magnet to him, but Jesse had nowhere to go.
No.
And he was full on the throttle. He had nowhere to go, and he runs into the side of one of the cars and destroys his front end. He backs it up, straightens it out, and then goes the back ways around the track. Because that incident happened in turn 1, so he backed around and went into the pits, which is in the middle of the front stretch.
Which is pretty normal. I've seen that happen.
From what I understand, he flipped the bird to the flagman and went into the pits, hopped on top of it. And from your words too, he was on the rev limiter, and he went through the pits, out the back, the rear exit and along the back stretch, the rear exit to the pits, and back to where his hauler was parked. I don't know if it's true, but there's been conversation that he has been told he's not welcome back at Crawford County. If he actually did do that, if he actually did get on the rev limiter and he was on high and he was hauling butt through that pits, I'm behind Crawford County 100%, not because they sign my paychecks, but because you don't do that. You don't do that at any level.
The one thing I have to honestly say, since I've started doing this show last year is, and Joe, we've had conversations about this off air. It's been no secret. I've always wanted to be a track promoter. I've always told you guys you have the most thankless job. And I've really learned how to look at both sides of the issues. When you're wrong, you're wrong. When you're not, you're not. Basically, Jesse was upset, and some of the drivers were, that the track was real heavy, rough, ruddy. The track, it's a brand new track. You have the officials doing their best. Last week it was hot and warm. They laid down some water. We had a pretty good track. Well, this week it was a lot warmer, a lot windier overall, so they put down a little bit more water. That mentality made sense to me, but it's not like we're talking about guys that have got 20 years of dirt track prep experience behind them, because they don't. It's a new setup. Well, to me, if I'm the promoter of a track and I have a guy come out there on a 4-wheeler and he's driving around the track, and and I'm not singling out Jesse by no means, but if I got 10 different drivers out there, well, you know what? No one stuck a gun to your head to come to my track. No one told you had to come here. So if you come here and you don't like the track because it's rough and ruddy, but then you get in your car to go out and run that track, what gives you the right to come back, whether it be on the computer, the phone, the cell phone, or whatever, and then complain about it? Now, with Jesse, here's what I saw. I go into turn 1. I have a car barrel rolling in the air. I'm seeing the face of God for the first time in years. And I see the back end of Jesse's car coming up. I hit the throttle. I bring the car back up to the back side of the track, almost spun out so I wouldn't hit Jesse's car. The red flag comes out. I'm sitting on the back straightaway. And I hear a pop, 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 pop. For all I know, I'm sitting on the inside of the back straightaway. I'm thinking some guy's over the guardrail in the pitch, working on this motor.
Yeah.
Well, under the red flag, I put the car in low. I'm lurching forward to go up to the cars in 3 and 4, just hang out with them. And here comes Jesse pretty quick through. Now, I'm sitting there for 2 or 3 minutes at least, because I know I'm sweating like a stuck pig. And when I come through, I slam on the brakes. Here comes Jesse. Now, I was told Jesse was airborne. You know, he took his race car, and it was like the General Lee over the berm, and he had air. No, he didn't.
I will back up Jesse on this because neither of us actually saw how fast he was going. None of us had a radar, so it's not fair to say.
No.
But I will tell you, if he was in high and on top of the rev limiter, there was no way he's making that corner when he comes out of the back. Now, at I-80, the way you guys exit, there's a lot of space back there for if he was to fly off the track, he would have plenty of room to move. You've got about the 2 widths of a trailer between that and the crick that's back there. He never would have got stopped.
Here's what I think happened. He didn't destroy his front end. It wouldn't shock me if spindles, center link, tie rods, and all that got bent. And Joe backed me up on this. But in your years of history, or in your years of racing, when you bend your front end, sometimes the front end on these cars, whether it be a late model, modified, a hobby, whatever, they're hard as hell to turn. Well, when it gets all bent, so I'm thinking, here's what happened. It was bent to where it was towed in.
Listen to what you asked, Joe.
It may be exactly right. It could have been bent. Maybe it was dragging the ground. Maybe an A-frame or something was dragging the ground.
Absolutely.
Even. It could have been bent. And you had to step on the gas that hard to make the car even drag itself out of there.
And
I mean, that's a possibility, you know. And Jesse, probably trying to get to his trailer, probably was stepping on the gas harder than he should have. I mean, you know, sometimes me being a track promoter, I hear some of the guys there like, oh, he's doing this fast. Well, that guy might have had something against Jesse. Even though he works for you, he might have. I don't know how fast it was. I wasn't there. You know, it's just it could have been a bent control arm or something, letting that frame drag on the ground.
Yeah, there's always a side of the story that vindicates somebody, and we don't want to crucify Jesse, but
no.
I think it was worthy bringing up and talking about tonight.
Well, and here's what I notice is if I'm sitting on the back straightaway, if Jesse's literally in high gear, let's say, you know, and Jesse's got a good car, but if he's in high gear and he's hitting the rev limiter, from the time that he comes in off the front straightaway to the time he leaves the entrance on the back straightaway, he couldn't have been in the pits more than 2 seconds at full speed. But if he's got it in low gear because he's running warm because it's hot out, and you're running in low gear and he's upset, I mean, I've done it. I've revved my motor up in the pits and he's in low gear. I could see him hitting the rev limiter at 60.
Well, what you got to remember, what does it take him to go for full speed to hit the rev limiter on the racetrack? If he's hitting the rev limiter and his car's not bent or broke, that he's using extra gas to make it work, he's going as fast as he was down that straightaway. I don't believe anybody could go down through the pits that fast, jump off the backstretch, and like you say, make the turn before you hit that crick. Yeah. There was either something broke that was bent that caused him to do that.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to get Jesse and get his side of the story soon, because I think it's worthy that we need to talk to him a little bit about it and just find out from the guy sitting in the seat what was going on. And I've noticed this. You've talked to me about it. Listen, the rumor mill in the dirt track racing, it's like TMZ.com. It is just horrible.
You go out to I-80 and you'll see paparazzi chasing old Andrew around.
Boy. When he's not chasing women, right?
Yeah, when he's not chasing women, we're trying to chase down Justin Zeitner.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for Slingin' Dirt. We appreciate you listening to it. As always, keep it on the Facebook page and let us know what you want to hear about. Joe, thanks so much for joining us in the studio. We love your insight. You're always welcome back to Slingin' Dirt.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Well, I don't think you got anything else left to say, bud?
No. No.
Okay,
no.
Andrew? No, are you done talking? We couldn't get you to shut up tonight. Gosh.
Would you like to say hi to your girlfriend?
Hello.
Wow.
Insightful. Thanks for listening to it. We appreciate it.
Did you notice he didn't know what to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one do I say it to?
Now he just got his own self in trouble, didn't he?
We're going to end it on that. This has been Dan Taylor, my buddy Ray, Andrew Kaziski, and our guest Joe Kaziski. Thanks for listening to Slingin' Dirt. We'll see you at the track.